Rock and roll is no stranger to wild stories, outrageous rumors, and outlandish conspiracy theories, but few are as bizarre as the case of Nikki Sixx, the Mötley Crüe bassist, and his alleged doppelganger, Matthew Trippe. In the world of music, where legends and myths often blur the lines of reality, the idea that Sixx was replaced by a lookalike during the height of the band's fame became one of the most intriguing and perplexing conspiracy stories in rock history. The story begins in the mid-1980s when Mötley Crüe was climbing the heights of rock stardom. Their dangerous blend of glam metal, hard partying, and rebellious spirit had won them legions of fans. But behind the scenes, their bassist and primary songwriter Nikki Sixx was living a life of chaotic excess, battling drug addiction and personal demons. Amidst this chaos, a strange claim emerged. Nikki Sixx had been replaced by a man named Matthew Trippe. Trippe, an aspiring musician, claimed that he had been hired to fill in for Sixx after the bassist was allegedly incapacitated due to drug-related issues. According to Trippe, he not only assumed Sixx's identity, but also wrote some of Mötley Crüe's music during this period, including songs for their 1987 album. He insisted that the band's management brought him in to keep the band's momentum going, while Sixx was dealing with his personal problems, and that no one outside of the inner circle was supposed to know. In 1988, Trippe took this strange narrative a step further by filing a lawsuit against Mötley Crüe, seeking royalties for music he claimed to have written while impersonating Nikki Sixx. Trippe's lawsuit centered around the idea that he had not been compensated for the songs he contributed to the band under Sixx's name. In court documents, he alleged that the deception was part of a broader plan to keep the band's public image intact while Sixx was out of commission. For a brief time, Trippe's claims captivated rock fans and conspiracy theorists alike. The idea that a famous rock star had been replaced by a look-alike was reminiscent of the Paul is dead myth surrounding the Beatles' Paul McCartney. But this was not merely a rumor spread by fans, it had entered the legal system, with Trippe presenting his case in court. The reality behind the rumor. Despite the sensational nature of the lawsuit, it never gained serious traction. The case was dismissed, with Mötley Crüe's lawyers denying all of Trippe's claims and asserting that Nikki Sixx had never been replaced. Sixx himself scoffed at the notion, ridiculing the idea that anyone could have taken his place, especially during such a pivotal moment in the band's history. Sixx's notorious and well-documented struggle with heroin addiction may have lent some superficial credibility to the theory, as he experienced near-death overdoses and spent time in rehab throughout the 80s. However, there was no substantial evidence to support Trippe's allegations, and most saw his claims as a desperate attempt for fame or compensation. The aftermath and legacy of the doppelganger myth. Following the dismissal of the lawsuit, Matthew Trippe faded into obscurity, and the strange story of Nikki Sixx's alleged doppelganger gradually became another bizarre footnote in the annals of rock history. Sixx went on to release an autobiography in 2007, detailing his struggles during the time in question, which only reinforced the implausibility of Trippe's claims. The Matthew Trippe conspiracy, while outlandish, taps into the fascination many people have with the duality of rock stars, how their public personas can differ so radically from their private lives. It also plays into the rock culture's love for mystique, mystery, and larger-than-life legends. Though the Trippe episode is widely regarded as nothing more than a strange legal sideshow, it has become a quirky piece of Mötley Crüe lore. For fans, it serves as a reminder of the band's tumultuous rise to fame and the surreal world that often accompanies rock superstardom. In the end, while the doppelganger theory may be one of rock's more peculiar conspiracy tales, the legacy of Nikki Sixx as Mötley Crüe's driving creative force remains intact. Whether fact or fiction, the Matthew Trippe affair shows just how wild and unpredictable the world of rock and roll can be.